All right, well, Titi Kim is going to read Jack and the Beanstalk. This is a classic. Once upon a time there was a widow who only had one son. His name was Jack, and he was a very good boy. Mother and son lived in a little house in the country, and they were so poor that they had only one goat. Every day the goat gave them a little jar of milk for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And look at the poor little goat. One day, the goat stopped giving milk, and the mother said to her son, "Jack, you must go to the market to sell our goat. Try to get as much as you can, since you know we have nothing else left." Jack tied a rope to the goat's neck and went to the market. And there goes Jack and the goat. When he arrived in town, a farmer approached him and said, "Do you want to sell that beautiful goat?" "Of course. That's why I came," the boy answered. "Well, look here," the farmer said. "I have this bag of beans. There are no better beans in the whole world. Take as many as you want in exchange for your goat." Poor Jack took as many as he could. He filled his pockets and his pouch, and he gave the goat to the farmer, and then he returned to his house. There you go. When he came home, his mother said, "Son, you look very happy. You must be bringing me a lot of money." "No, Mother," said Jack. "I bring no money at all. I bring beans like you've never seen before." The good woman was very angry and exclaimed, "Oh, poor me. What a silly son I have." And she threw the beans out the window. Flung. So she's upset. The next morning, when Jack went to open the window, he was surprised what he saw. On the spot where the beans had fallen now grew a plant so tall, the stalk climbed high as if it were a tree. There it is. Without thinking twice, Jack climbed up the stalk to reach the tender bean pods that grew on high. The more he climbed, the higher the pods were. He climbed so high that he could no longer see his home. Tired of climbing, he stopped and found that he was in a country very different from his own. When he finally turned around, he saw an old woman sitting on a throne on a stone, and the old woman said to him, "I've been waiting many years for you, Jack. Do you know that your father was a very rich man, and that a giant stole his fortune? The giant lives near here in a castle, and you must go there to recover what belongs to you." So this little old woman tells him that she needs to go to this castle. Jack arrives at the castle door, and then he knocks. The giant answers. His wife does. "Run away," she said. "There's a cruel giant here." "I am hungry," Jack replied. "Let me stay and eat." She gave him food, and before the ferocious giant returned, hid him in a bowl. "Smells like meat," says the giant. "It's a goat. I cooked you for dinner," the giant's wife replied. The giant ate and then began to count the money he had stole from Jack's father. Oh boy. See what happens. But there were so many coins that the giant grew tired and he fell asleep. He snored so loudly that the entire castle was rumbling, and at that very moment, Jack got out of the bowl. He took the bag of money and he ran away from the castle as fast as he could. When Jack had climbed halfway down the beanstalk, he heard a terrible scream. It was the giant. He had woken up and now was chasing him, but Jack was fast as lightning, and in 5 minutes he reached the bottom of the big stalk, the big plant. This is him getting chased down. Oh boy, let's see what happens. Then the old woman touched the stalk, and pulling out the magic wand, said, "Go away, BeanStalk." And the beanstalk disappeared in a flash. The giant suddenly found himself very high up and with nothing to stand on, and he fell down, 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 never to be seen again. The end. There is one last page. They were safe and happy, and he took the money to his mother. And thanks to him, they never lacked anything, as long as they lived. After this, Jack's mother always said, "How lucky am I to have such a clever boy." And that is the old school Jack and the Beanstalk.